What we are going to be covering today is there's going to be kind of a few phases of this. So, first of all, we're going to be talking about positioning yourself on LinkedIn to get more strategic partnerships. So, my recommendation would be most of your target audience for talking about consumers is going to be on Facebook, Instagram, and that's where most people are active. We see that a lot, especially Facebook. So, for LinkedIn, you can really leave that exclusively to generate some more of these partnerships and target CPAs, financial advisors, etc. So we're going to be talking about some strategies to target those people more, be putting out content consistently in order to attract those types of relationships. So I encourage you as we move through this, if you are active on LinkedIn and you have some experience to share, raise your hand. We'll bring you in to talk about it a little bit. If you have questions, feel free to put them in the chat, Q&A. I'm happy to answer them. So talking about LinkedIn to start, I am going to be sharing some tools later on that you can use on LinkedIn, which are really helpful. But I would encourage you, anytime you're looking at running ads on LinkedIn, using some of these tools, it's always important to also be posting organically on those platforms. So when you're on LinkedIn, if you're running ads and you don't have any content to fall back on, organic content that you're consistently posting, then LinkedIn algorithm will notice that. And I think we had a hand raise. Okay, we're good. LinkedIn will recognize that and not show your content to as many people. So they almost punish you for not being as active. If you have a lot of organic content on LinkedIn and you're getting solid engagement consistently, and then you run ads on top of that, it's going to be in your favor. It'll show it to more people. And it's also a, kind of twofold, because if I am a financial advisor and I see your ad on LinkedIn and I click on it and you don't post any content, then it kind of takes away that validity and it doesn't give you as much, bonus perks in your favor. If I go to your page and it has a bunch of content that I can get value from and relate to, then I'm going to be much more likely to reach out to you or engage with whatever ad I'm seeing. So I encourage you, be active on LinkedIn. And we kind of talk about strategy in general on social media. When you're identifying your target audience, you want to think about the pain points that they're having. So if you want to target more financial advisors, have a conversation with any financial advisor that you know and ask what their pain points are. And if you can solve for those pain points, or at least have empathy towards them and say, I understand what you're going through. I know a lot of people that are going through the same thing. I have this tool. It's going to add value to your consumers. It'll keep them around longer. Then that's going to make them connect with you so much more, because you are addressing their problems. You're stating that you empathize with them and that you can help them solve those problems. So that's kind of how you want to think about posting content on LinkedIn. I'm also going to be sharing some examples then as well of content that gets good engagement on LinkedIn, because I think there's this misconception of LinkedIn has to be exclusively business content, and that's wrong, because any person that wants to do business with another person is going to be looking for those human things to connect with. So the examples that I'm going to be sharing are actually very human, sharing empathy and, some feelings within the post that people can connect to. So if you're looking to post on LinkedIn, the 80-20 rule, we talk about this a lot. 80% of it can be creating value for those people. You can tie in those family posts or personal posts and direct them back to business concepts. I've seen that done really well, and that's some of the examples that I'm going to be sharing. And then 20% can be asking them to take action with something. So whether that's scheduling some time to talk to you, you can post your Calendly link, whatever that may be. Ask them to take action with that 20%, because that 80% is going to be setting you up as the professional that, you're the subject matter expert, you know about this topic. And then that 20% is going to be, okay, they know what they're talking about. Now I want to learn more about it, or I want to partner with them. So I'm going to share my screen here just to show you some of the examples that I thought were really good. So Danny's is one of them. Let me share this here. So this one over here, Danny. So a lot of the time, Danny on social media, he is pretty business focused, but a lot of the time he links that back to he links it back to business in some way. So he'll share a personal story and then say, I think this is very in line with what we're doing at Neo Home Loans, or he relates it back to mortgage in some way. But this one, he actually just posted a family photo, something from his personal life, and got tons of engagement on it. He saw a lot, you can't see the views on here, but he got a ton of views, 108 reactions to that, because he's just showing part of his life and people love to see that. So I would encourage you to think about the parts of your life that you're willing to share, because you don't have to overshare or let people into every part of your life, but identify those from the beginning and choose those few buckets and run with it. Be posting content consistently about those few subjects. Myself, this is, I mean, I'm nowhere close to Danny, but this is more engagement that I've got on a post in a while. So I just shared a story from this past weekend. I had met with these two girls from my apartment complex, and they're both surgeons. I was really intimidated. I'm like, I'm going to have nothing to talk about with these people. And when they started to learn about what I do, they thought it was the coolest thing ever. And it just shows that, you know, you think that your job's not cool because you're in it every day. But the reality is we should be grateful for what we're doing at all time and take pride in it, because from the outside, it looks really cool, and it is. You just don't realize it because you're always experiencing it. So I shared that. I think I got close to 5,000 views, which again is more than I typically get. So that was just the longer posts that have a lot of meaning to them tend to do really well, and I've been experiencing that lately. Another one to follow and kind of take after his posts is Eddie Perez from EPM. He gets a ton of engagement on his posts, and a lot of them are more personal. They have a really deep meaning and things that he's experiencing in his business, and people really respond well to it. So he had his team redo his office. They came in, he was gone for a short amount of time, and he let them redo his office. And he came back and he actually had the reaction video of him walking to his office and seeing it for the first time. And he got a ton of engagement on that as well. So just being grateful for his team and putting out content that people can connect with is really meaningful and effective. So I'm going to be sharing, one second here, a tool called Meet Alfred. Does anyone use this? If you do, could you raise your hand or have heard of it? So what Meet Alfred does is it allows you, it's a tool that you can implement on LinkedIn. So what this does is it actually automates all of your outreach. And this is completely spot on with connecting with those strategic partnerships. So let's just say I'm a mortgage professional and I want to connect more with specifically financial advisors. So I signed up for Meet Alfred. I think there is a monthly cost to it, but I think that the ROI on it could be really good if you implement it correctly. So I implement Meet Alfred, and what I can do is go on and say, I want to connect with financial advisors in the Philadelphia area. And you can put specific parameters to say, if they don't have a LinkedIn photo, I don't want to connect with them. If they don't have premium, I don't want to connect with them. Because if you're on LinkedIn Premium, it just shows that you're more active on the platform. So if you want to keep it a little more exclusive and make sure you're connecting with only the best people, you can set those parameters and it will adjust accordingly. So what you can do is set up a workflow. So you can kind of think of it as daily AI. It's very similar. So the workflow within Meet Alfred, you could say, I want the automation to first view the person's profile. And then after that, and this doesn't have to be in this order either. You can set it however you want. I want it to view this person's profile. And then 2 days later, I want to send them a connection request with a message saying this, because you can include, and you should include, a message along with your connection request. So this is great for if you meet people at events as well. And I'll get into kind of the other ways that you can use it. But let's just say I met someone at an event and I say, hey, I met you at this event. It was really great talking to you and learning this about you. It just creates that connection even more so, and they're much more likely to accept it. So then after that, you can even include 2 days later, I want to send them a follow-up message saying this. You can include your Calendly link in there. So if you're really strategic about it and set it up in the right way, and first establish that connection before you ask them to do anything. I think that's really important. So when we're talking about the whole concept of social selling, a lot of people try this, but then they completely leave out the social part of it. So they're just trying to sell on the first message on LinkedIn, and it never works. I get this all the time. But I have seen a lot of messages come to me where they're just saying, "Hey, would love to connect. I see we have some connections in common. Would love to see how we can help each other." That's a perfect way to frame it up and say, "Wow, this person's not just asking for something from me, but they want to help each other." And people are on LinkedIn to do exactly that. So that's a great way to frame it up. Um, but another way that you can do this is not only set those filters to say financial advisors within Philadelphia or so on, you can also upload lists to Meet Alfred. So, and I'll be sending out the links to all these resources in the follow-up email. But if I just attended, for example, we're attending Originator Connect next month. So if I go to Originator Connect and I get an attendee list afterwards, I can upload that entire list to this platform and engage with those people on LinkedIn. So that can be a very direct message to them saying, "We met at Originator Connect." It will immediately catch their attention because obviously they were just at that event, and you can nurture it in that way. So that's a great way to connect with financial advisors, especially if you're at an event like that where the community or most of the people that are attending, they all are the same demographic. They're all financial advisors, they're all realtors. That's a really good way to kickstart those relationships and nurture them in a way that you don't have to do anything. I mean, when you implement a system like this, it does everything for you. I think there's another one that's similar. I'm not sure entirely what it's called, but I can also include that in the follow-up email. It's very similar to Meet Alfred. So we get a lot of requests for presentations for realtor partners specifically, and ways to connect with them, get them engaged on the platform, and really make them buy into the whole concept of art of homeownership. So the first part of it, connecting with them on social media. Again, I would leave LinkedIn exclusively to develop those kinds of strategic partnerships. And then the second part of it is going to be the presentation. So pitching them on the platform and getting them to really buy in on the concept. So Ryan just did a realtor partner pitch earlier this week that went really well, and he had just sent it to me. So I'm going to show you the last like 15 minutes or so of this realtor partner pitch. I think it's going to be really useful for a lot of people because we get this request all the time. And then the second half of the webinar, we'll have Danny come on and talk about more strategically how to set your realtor partners up for success on the platform and get them more engaged. So as we go through this, again, if you have any questions, put them in the chat and then we'll get to them after we're done here. Okay. Oh, let me stop. I don't think I shared with sound.
No, we have this commitment to help our clients in ways that other real estate and mortgage professionals just can't compete with. You know, our commitment. So if Erica's my client, I say, okay, Erica, if you thought that we were helpful for the last 30 days, you're going to be amazed at how valuable we're going to be for you and your family for the next 30 years. Because most realtors and most lenders will sell you a house and sell you a loan and say, good luck, hope you know what you're doing, and figure out every other aspect of real estate or finance on your own, and we'll market to you. Like, we'll send you some just sold letters, we'll send you some some relationship touchy-feely stuff, we'll send you a pie on Thanksgiving, but we're not really going to reach out and help you proactively. Now you have to do that on your own. And when we tell clients that, they're like, yeah, that's how it always happens. It kind of sucks, right? Like, they help us for 30 days and then we're kind of just on our own. And we play to that, right? Because we know that that's been the experience for the last 100 years, because we as real estate agents and lenders have never been required to help them outside of the transaction or even expected to. So when we've changed this, that's how we've become the #1 lender in Orange County. That's how we've become top 25 in the country. And that's why our company is expanding so quickly. Is the same money that Quicken or any other mortgage or real estate company would spend on Super Bowl commercials or ads or internet commercials or billboards. We just take those same marketing dollars and we reinvest it back in the livelihood of our clients. And we tell every client, our success has nothing to do with how many loans we sell. Our success has everything to do with how successful you become as a homeowner. Because if you just buy a home, you'll just own a home. But if you work with Matt's team and our group, our commitment is that you become a really successful homeowner, and there's a big difference. And then we explain what that is. So these are the 8 things that we commit to for every single client. One is we're actually going to commit to that client to help them proactively keep their home in great shape and actually increase that home's value over time. I've never in my career heard any lender or realtor make that promise because they can't. They don't have the bandwidth, they don't have the systems or the infrastructure to do it. So anytime we work with a client, whether it's a prospect or an actual closed transaction, anybody in our database, anybody we meet at the supermarket, we can deliver all of these valuable items to them. So the first thing is the concierge. Right? So somebody will actually go to your client's house. They'll do a 300-point data analysis of the property. They'll upload all the pictures and content into this person's site where they'll log into. It would be co-branded. It will be our information here. If you decide that you want to be part of the platform, you can sign up. There is a cost just from a RESPA perspective. We can't offer it across the board. But they'll either get it from just our team or our collective teams. And everything about their home will be saved in here. On a weekly basis, Erica, if she's our client, is going to get an email that says, hey, Erica, it's been 6 months. Time to change your air filter. Here's the one you need. Summer's coming. Do this. Winter's coming. Do that. And so they get emails that are actually valuable to them, right? Because they're helping them with their home, not just marketing emails that they don't actually look at. And so if they ever want any work done, they can just go in here. If they need any repairs, upgrades, renovations, they can pick on any one of these services. They can click request service. And the concierge will literally just go in and be like, hey, your refrigerator's broken. Okay, here's the type of refrigerator you have, right? Here's how much it would cost for somebody to come out. Do you want us to send them? Here's another quote if you want another quote. And then when that person comes out, they save the receipts, they save the invoices, they save the vendor contact information, they save all the material, paint colors, carpet types, appliance information, warranty information. So it's all saved in here and detailed in here. And we tell our clients this is like having a personal assistant for your home. Right? Because look, one of the biggest regrets, and 63% of millennials have some form of regret within 2 years after buying a home. 42% of all people that buy a home have a regret. One of the biggest ones is they didn't save enough money, nor did they know how much it would cost for home upkeep or maintenance. And so we show them that study that was done by Trulia and say, look, you don't have to worry about that with us. Like, we're going to take care of this proactively, and we'll do it so well that when you go to sell your home, or if you go to sell your home, we can market it saying this home comes with its own home concierge, right? Which the buyer will then be able to adopt, which will create a higher value. And then if there's any capital gains taxes or anything, everything will be documented in here so you can save money on capital gains. Any questions on this?
No, it's nice.
Do you use HomeBot right now? I don't know if I asked you that last time or not.
I do not.
Okay. So HomeBot will be a game changer for you and your clients. So one of the things we commit to our clients is, I say, Erica, it's not only is it important that you know your net worth through real estate, which most people have no idea because their home value is some algorithm on some internet site, and they haven't looked at their mortgage statement in quite some time. So they don't even know their equity, but even if they did have an understanding of what it might be, they don't actually know what they can or should do with it, which both of those things are wrong. So all of our clients are empowered because they have all the information they need on a consistent basis, and it's detailed specifically to them. So it's a commitment that our clients love, and you can see how well they take us up on it. So just in the last 30 days, I'll just refresh this so we can see the right number. We've sent 1,422 of these. Our clients opened it 1,063 times, which is a 74% open rate. Average email open rate for real estate or mortgage related is about 6% of people that are actually going to open your email. And then we have what's called predictive analytics, where I can go in and I can see 12 minutes ago, 23 minutes, 28 minutes, an hour ago, all of these things in the last hour. These are what our clients are doing. So Naashi, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but viewed her home in the last 30 days, viewed it 4 times, viewed the home's market a couple times. This person's, Shay's is reviewed it 5 times. We can even go in and keep looking within the hour, right? These are all people that are still within the last hour. Let me find a good one to show you here. So here's, Yaswa, viewed home, viewed buyer's markets, buyer viewed markets, buyer viewed buyer viewed report. So this is a client who's actually turning into a buyer. Right. So buyer and his team will likely reach out to them today and reach out to the majority of these clients because they're telling us what they want without telling us what they want. So I'm going to go just try and find one here that I think has good equity so I can show you. Let me see. Yeah, this will work. So you can see here how many times, like 2 hours ago, 18 hours ago, 19 hours ago, 17 days ago, all the way, like every client opens this every single month.
Right.
Because what we do is we teach them how to analyze their home in the market. So every month they're going to get an email that comes from us and says, hey, your updated home valuation's ready. Come in here, look at your report. And then we'll teach them this is the most accurate accounting of their value that they'll find anywhere online. So what this does is this Zillow proofs you. Right? They're not going to go to Zillow or Redfin or any other site to try and find their home value. They're going to go here because as soon as they click tune value, you and I are going to give them a comparative market analysis, and we're going to set that price every 6 months, and we teach them to do that. It's an opportunity for having a conversation with them. And then they're always going to come here to see the value of their home. They're going to see the homes in high demand. They're going to click on that, and they're going to watch a video of me explaining what that means to them and what opportunities they have with their home in high demand. They can come down here, see 35 homes in their market are selling in 99 days. Average purchase or average square foot is bedroom, bathroom, high appreciation, good cash position. They can actually click on new homes nearby. They can look at how things are selling and what they could do. And so all of these things, with a click of a button, they can engage with us. But we have to put this content in front of them, or they just won't engage. They just won't take the step, right? They're not trained to do that. So here we're going to show them this to have all their mortgage information over here. Right? We helped them with a mortgage last year at a previous company. We have videos that show them what happens if they were to purchase a new home, if they could refinance. They can see how much they pay towards principal and interest. Obviously, they have a really good interest rate right now, but they also have, it looks like, a second that may still be around. I don't know if we took care of it or not. They can see if they were to stay in their home, if it makes sense for them to refinance based upon the number of years they're going to stay in their home. They can see if they paid down their mortgage, $50 saves them $112,000. What if they paid $200? If I can find my mouse here somewhere. Mouse is disappearing. There it is. They saved $100, $200. So they play with this and they'll reach out to us and say, okay, maybe I should do that. Maybe I shouldn't. And then, hey, did you know you could purchase a new home for $800,000? You can buy an investment property for $300,000. You can rent your home and buy another, sell and pocket the cash. And people ask us all the time, like, how can I buy an investment property for $300,000? They click on it, and I just start telling them how they do it. Right? All the information's here. They can actually start their search and become a buyer. They can reach out to us if they want to get financed for it. And then, because we help them in not just real estate, but every aspect of real estate or finance, they can see they can create an emergency fund, add more space, pay down student loan debt, explore new investments. And they click on any one of these, they get video content and information about them. And then if they want to know if they rent their home out on Airbnb or VRBO, what they can get for it, they can change the nightly rate, how many nights per month they'd rent it. So there's a reason people look at this every month. It's like a digital interactive bank statement for their house. And it comes from us. And this is the type of stuff we need to be putting in front of our clients to be able to make the commitment that we're going to help them. Otherwise, we're just hoping they figure it out.
Right.
Every year, we do an annual financial review with each one of our clients. We have an entire team within our staff. They're called customer success managers. They do nothing but add value to our past clients. So they do a 3-month post-closing call. They do a 6-month post-closing call. They do annual financial reviews every single year. And we help all of our clients understand insurance, home, auto, umbrella, medical, disability, life insurance, financial planning, retirement planning, tax consulting. We help them with generational wealth planning in terms of, what's happening with their parents, what's happening with their children. A lot of times people make mistakes by not talking up and down the generational chain, which could have, solved problems. Short-term and long-term real estate planning. We have a saying on our team that if one of our past clients calls us and says they want to buy, sell, or finance a home, we failed. Most every other lender in the marketplace would say if one of their past clients calls them and says that, they would do a dance because they're doing something right. We believe it's our job to help our clients understand when they should buy, sell, or finance a home, and then we should just help them along that journey. So we stay connected with them. No other mortgage team I've ever met has this position. They don't invest in this because they just want to get the deal done, do a good job, and move on and try and find a new one. And then we help with credit and debt management as people's lives are changing and evolving. So every year, our clients can depend on us calling them, going through this process, helping them proactively plan for their future and increasing their generational wealth. Any questions on that?
No.
We have what's called the perfect mortgage promise. So we have data and an analytics software that will help us understand when our clients are having credit pulled, if they put their home on the market, if they have an opportunity to improve their mortgage situation, if they're accruing debt. So we can proactively monitor it and ensure that they're always not only in the right loan, but in the right home. One of my favorite slides to show clients, I'd be like, Erica, how often would you ask yourself these questions? Not very often. Okay, well, let's say you did. Would you always be 100% confident in how to answer these questions as your life is changing and evolving? No, definitely not. And we say that's the difference, is that most clients think that it's their responsibility to ask and answer these questions. We believe it's ours.
Right.
So you saving an eighth of a point or a quarter of a point on your interest rate or 1% on the commission of your sale of your home is not going to make or break your success as a homeowner.
Right.
Knowing the answer to these questions at all times is what's going to make you ultimately successful, and that's what we're going to commit to helping you with. And again, we couldn't do this if we were just selling loans. We have to have a whole team that's dedicated to doing this for each one of our clients. And so I can confidently look a client in the eye and say, Matt, we're going to be the most, Erica, Matt and I are going to be the most valuable people in your life when it comes to real estate or finance. And this is how, and this is how you're going to benefit from it. There's plenty of realtors out there and lenders out there that will sell you a home and sell you a loan, and then everything else is up to you. And so people really want that partnership, and I think our success has shown that we don't have to be the cheapest. We just have to be the most valuable. We help people maximize their wealth through real estate, especially now with accessory dwelling units, garage conversions, granny flats, casitas, all the stuff that they have to understand, and then investment property planning. And then we help them relocate. So anyone who says they have good customer service but doesn't help their client move, it's the third most stressful thing in a client's life behind death and divorce. So when our clients go into contract, they immediately get an application on their phone where they get timelined from where they are today to where they're moving, and it times out everything they need to do. So they can get their moving all set up, rent a truck, throw out junk, get all moving estimates right here on their phone. They can set up all their services, internet, insurance, electricity, water, gas, right there, same site, and it timelines when that needs to happen by. They can get any packing stuff that they may need. They can personalize their home with home improvement, cleaning services, automation. They can update their addresses, forward mail, driver's license, voter registration, any subscription services they had can all be done right there from the app. And then they can save money on local services. So they can get 10% off new furniture, grocery orders, gym memberships, anything local, and anything community related, schools, pets, community handbooks, neighborhood events. Again, this can be co-branded with both of us, assuming you agree that the partnership makes sense. Otherwise, you can just rest assured this is going to be happening with every one of your clients every time. Our clients really like this because moving is hard and people don't necessarily know what to do and when to do it. And then the last two things we've already gone over, which are helping someone renovate their home prior to selling it, and then helping them with the trade up program. So all 8 of these areas, when we get done telling someone that this is who we are and what we do, and the previous person just told them how they're going to help them buy, sell, or finance a home, it becomes very apparent that that person doesn't really care about their long-term success. They just want to get the transaction done. And so not only does this become our value proposition, which it is currently, but your value proposition would be the exact same thing. Like you could use any realtor, and Matt, there's no doubt, I think all of us on the call agree, you're definitely better than a lot of realtors we've worked with and we've talked to, but you're still, with this, you almost be untouchable, right? Like being able to commit to these level of things, knowing that you don't have to do much else because our team does most of the fulfillment. That's where a lot of our partners realize they can not only change and impact their business, but they can start to create something where the average client demands this type of value from the realtors and lenders they work with. And if they're not getting this level of value, they better get the cheapest, right? It better be the cheapest commission or the lowest interest rate possible, but anything in between just isn't appropriate.
Yeah, no, I agree that the biggest opportunity you have for myself and many realtors is the follow-up. And coming out of, I don't have it in front of me, but coming out of Ninja, I think it was somewhere in the 20% or very low. It might have been lower than that. of agents actually reach out to their clients after the close of escrow. It's
Yeah.
ridiculously insane, right? So, but the opportunity gap is that follow-up. And I can tell you that because we don't have systems readily available, and it doesn't make sense, right? There's a lot of these little fragmented companies, but because collectively our industry, we don't have good, I mean, I really like what you just presented. So thank you for that, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah.
But we don't have tools readily available to us like that, right? You know, you got constant contact, you got Lions Desk, all the touch points that are basically me talking to you, client, as you say, right?
Yep.
But there's no systems, and it doesn't make sense to me because you're right. It's like we're just a, you know, like the big lot industry, right? You know, just
Yeah.
broker and open close, and that to me, I just don't understand it. And
I would even argue even the 20% of people that are reaching out to their clients are just marketing to them.
well,
They're
that's
not actually adding value.
yeah.
Right? And that's the key, is it, you could be a great marketer. And I've actually talked to agents who are like, no, we're always in touch with our clients. We have, you know, client events, and we do Thanksgiving stuff, and we send them, you know, mailers, and I send them handwritten notes. I'm like, that's great, but none of that actually helps them. It
Right.
just markets you to them.
Right.
If you can actually help them, if you can say, look, I'll take you from here to here as a homeowner, and in your level of success in real estate, that's worth paying for.
Right.
So that's what we want to help you with, and that's what we're excited that we're doing right now. I hate to cut this short, guys. We only scheduled an hour for this, and obviously I talk a lot.
All right. Are there any questions so far about what we've covered? I mean, that was obviously a great example of how to pitch this to a realtor partner. Sorry, Ron, I'm reading your message here now. Ron, are you referring to the presentation itself? Like you want a slideshow for the realtor presentation? I'm actually going to allow you to talk here just to make it clear.
Hi there.
Hey, Ron.
How you doing?
All right. Pretty good. How are you?
Good. I think the frustration for us that, you know, you listen to Ryan present, you go, oh my gosh, I'm never going to be able to present like that. So that's the frustration, is we'd love to see a presentation to a consumer and a presentation to an agent why they should become AOH members. That's a generic video, and then a script that then as we learn it, we can then record our own, but have something we could use right now until we get better at presenting all that AOH has to offer.
Right. So, hold on one second here. I see Danny hopped on with us. So when you say a generic video, kind of like a walkthrough of the whole platform, are you saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
That we can use for one for a consumer and one for an agent.
Yeah, that's great feedback. Thank you.
Because it takes a while for us to get our minds around all of it. It seems so overwhelming. And for me, that seems to be, and I'm sure I'm not alone, that's a huge stumbling point. Is how do I get to where I could be professional enough to present it? Obviously, it's doing it over and over again, but that, and then having a script that we could go by, then we could, you know, keep practicing until we get really good at it. So.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah, that's great feedback. We can definitely work on that.
Okay,
thank you.
Thanks.
Yep.
Hey, Val, can I offer some just thoughts on that comment that Ron made? Would you mind?
Yeah, go ahead.
Also, I have video disabled, so I would jump on. Oh, wait a minute. Here I am. Hey, team. Great to see you all.
Welcome, Danny. Welcome to the party.
Yeah. Thanks for taking time out of your day to join and you know, spend some time getting a little bit better. My name is Danny Hirani. I'm one of Ryan's business partners. Those of you that don't know me, had also a very long journey as an originator. And so I've definitely been in your shoes and may be able to share perspective from the, you know, many realtor presentations that I was part of over my career. But one thing I wanted to pull out, Ron, and first of all, you know, watching Ryan work is like watching, you know, somebody that's mastered their craft, right? Like you know, somebody that has played an instrument their whole life. And then there's definitely this impression that, wow, that's like a very high level of operation. What I would offer to this group, though, is that it's actually not necessary to be that. And I don't want to, kind of pat Ryan on the back too hard. He probably doesn't need the ego boost, but you don't actually need to be as effective as he is in order to be more effective than anyone else in your market. You can go into those conversations. One of the things that I've heard Ryan say many times is borrow my confidence. That's actually what the secret sauce is. It's not actually the words, although words are powerful and important, but it's that confidence to know you're walking into their office with a winning lottery ticket. You're walking into their office with a signed paycheck that says, if you believe what we believe, and if you can communicate to your clients what we believe about how they should set expectations for themselves as they engage with financial services professionals in the real estate industry, then you're going to see your business become more abundant. And here are the handful of steps that we've identified as really attacking key pain points. So I don't want to minimize this idea, Ron, of getting that video up. I think it's a fantastic idea. And I think anytime we can get what we call game film out into your hands so that you can maybe even pull one gold nugget out of it. But I want to also challenge this group a little bit to say, you don't need anything else. I promise you, if you just there's nothing besides picking up the phone enough times to set an appointment. And that might be one call, it might be 100 calls. But once you get in front of somebody and you share the story of why you became an Art of Homeownership partner, what transformation you're trying to create for your clients and what transformation you're trying to create for your business partners and how that it can only be done together. It doesn't matter if you've had that conversation 100 times or if it's your very first one. I promise you it will resonate because it's coming from a place of genuine contribution.
Yeah, that was well said. I think the genuine is also a key word there. I think if you're genuine, people really connect with it a lot better. And just to get you up to speed, Danny, after that, we were talking about posting on LinkedIn to connect with those strategic partnerships. So setting yourself up, we shared some tools that you can use to automate those connections a little bit. And then we just shared kind of Ryan's game film of a realtor presentation.
Excellent. Fantastic. Well, thanks for letting me come in and, jump into the movie midstream, Val and team. I really appreciate it. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you, Danny. So what can you share, Danny, about now we're kind of in the phase of engaging those realtor partners on the platform and how Art of Homeownership can help facilitate that? What would be your insight there?
Well, I think great question. I kind of already gave a little bit of a preview of kind of where my head's at around this. But what I'll offer to this group is that, and I agree, being genuine is one of the most important trust building characteristics. But what I believe is that by becoming an Art of Homeownership partner, you've already made a commitment to your referral partners. You've already made a commitment to your clients and to yourself and your business that should absolutely provide that fire of confidence to say, this is absolutely genuine. I'm investing in my business. I'm investing in myself. I'm getting on Wednesday calls. I'm learning how to be a better operator. I'm learning how to offer better customer service. So right in the beginning, when we talk about how you can leverage Art of Homeownership to benefit your referral partners, just starting off with recognizing how powerful it is just inside of yourself to have been, chosen into this community. I think that for me is one step that might often get overlooked. You should definitely be patting yourself on the back and saying, I've made a decision to differentiate myself. I made a decision to create more value for my referral partners and my clients than the others in my market. And because of the way Art of Homeownership was designed as being an exclusive platform, you're necessarily a unique operator in your marketplace, right? Very few people can say the things that you have permission to say, and you can say them confidently. So again, just another framing of the way that I believe Art of Homeownership can be leveraged with referral partners. So the holy grail of sales and what we do, influence, inspiration, adding value, you can distill that. I know there's a lot of connotation when it comes to sales. I would never identify myself as a salesperson, but I'll just use that kind of term broadly. is, about trust at scale, right? If you can create trust at scale, then you can really attack the first pieces of your business. Well, not the first piece is leadership, right? Leading yourself, leading your team, deciding on how you're going to, build a life and business that is meaningful and fulfilling. But the second step is lead generation. And then the step after that's lead conversion. So if you can build trust at scale, you can generate more leads and you can convert leads better. So knowing that, and I'll offer very briefly, and I can do a whole presentation on this maybe at some point, right? And I think I even have potentially. Trust has 4 components: credibility, how good are you at your job? Reliability, how often do you show up? Authenticity or intimacy, you can also say that's that genuine component, right? Where you're really walking the walk. And then finally, you divide that by self-orientation. So how much are you doing what you're doing because of you, and how much are you doing what you're doing because of them? Art of Homeownership is a value-added service that's meant to communicate differently with referral partners and clients. So right away, that bottom, the denominator of the equation, self-orientation, you're doing this for them. Now, do we all expect the benefit from being in this community and having that enhanced value proposition? Absolutely, we do. But really, the reason you get onto the platform is because you believe that clients can be served better. So now, with all that said, and I know I'm talking like as fast as a person can possibly talk and still be hopefully understood. The main thing to do when you're engaging with the new referral partner around Art of Homeownership is to really focus on what it means for them. Now, if you think about, and maybe even some of you on this call are realtors, and if you are, I would love to be either challenged on this statement if you don't agree with it, or if you agree with it, you want to emphasize what I'm about to say. Being a realtor right now is as hard as it has ever been. It is the most challenging time in history, and also one of the most challenging marketplaces to be a realtor, especially if you're a buyer's agent, which many of our referral partners, happen to be buyer's agents, because they're the people that are interfacing directly. Now, there's still value in having listing agent partners, but tends to start off, usually as a buyer's agent. There's online low cost platforms out there that are trying to distill business. There are, listing agents that are trying to double end deals because they're commanding that highly sought after resource, which is the home, right? That's what everybody comes for. That's why we're even in business, is because people want to buy houses, not because people want money for the sake of it, from a borrowing perspective. So coming from the perspective that having a clearly articulatable value proposition that differentiates that partner from all of the other buyer's agents in the market, or even all the other listing agents in the market, right out of the gate, you have something. Again, that's the winning lottery ticket. You're saying, hey, if you follow this process with me as a partner to me and me to you, you will see your business grow, because the thing that people are looking for is true partnership. The thing that people by this, just to be really clear, to not use, too many pronouns, the end consumer, the family that is making the decision to use us, that realtor partner, and us as lenders, the decision is being made based on the trust they place in us. And if that trust can get extended out past the transaction, and there's a very clear articulation of why I'm truly going to be in a relationship with you beyond the point of that 30 days or 21 days or whatever it is, that is a really powerful message, especially to first-time home buyer, or even somebody that's bought multiple times, but they just know their life's getting complicated. They need guidance, right? The questions that Ryan has offered on the e-learning platform, right? He uses those in realtor presentations. And I would offer to all of you, go on the e-learning platform, pull up the questions. I think it may even be on the Art of Homeownership website, that every client should ask themselves at least once a year to determine whether or not they're maximizing wealth through real estate. Those questions are hard questions to answer for some people. And if you share with a referral partner, look, we can team up to answer these questions for our clients. And by doing so, the peak of value which most realtors and most lenders, the peak of value that most financial service professionals in real estate create happens on the 30th day. And I'm using 30th day, just as a proxy for a 30-day escrow. It's whenever they get keys to the house. That's when you've become the most valuable to that family, right? Is when you've ramped up to that moment of celebration. If you can then say, look, that's not me. I'm an Art of Homeownership partner. We'll collectively be in a team growing a business together. And what we're going to do is make a commitment to this family that our value is going to extend 30 years. And so, yes, the peak of the value happened at 30 days, but that's not where our relationship ends. It's going to continue to go up to the point where, maybe you do a cash out refinance to put an ADU in. Maybe you do a cash out refinance to debt consolidate after you've built a little bit of equity. Maybe you buy an investment property 4 years from now. You leverage the equity accumulated in this home to purchase a new one when your family outgrows that first one, maybe 5 to 7 years down the road. And now here you are laddering the value that you've created for that end user family in partnership with your referral partner. So you're painting this picture that you're in business long-term, right? You're going to, and not only are you both in business long-term, you're in a growing, thriving business long-term. And that growth is coming from the partnership and the joint commitment to delivering this 30-year value. Now, everyone says they want a relationship-based business. I've been doing this now for 18 years, and I've never met a lender that said they wanted a transactional business. I've never met a realtor that said they wanted a transactional business. They always tell me, I want clients for life. And I kind of peel back that onion a little bit and learned that intention, right, or stated intention is very different than a system of execution, right? Amazon is in a relationship with their clients because they know exactly when you buy toilet paper, right? That's a relationship, right? Because they know, they're intimate with their client base. They know about them. They know what they need. They know what they want. And they know that because they're intentionally inquisitive and curious about their clients because they want to help them more. Yes, does that turn into a financial benefit? Absolutely. If your clients transact more because they do cash out refinances, because they buy investment properties, are you going to make more money as a result of that? Is your referral partner going to make more money? Absolutely, they will. Your clients are transacting more often. They're making decisions that are appropriate for their family more often. It's okay for you to make money doing good work. But when you get into a system that says, I'm going to commit to a perfect mortgage promise, I'm going to commit to maximizing wealth through real estate, I'm going to commit to an annual financial review. All those commitments take work. But what they do is they replace the constant anxiety of, well, what next and how, right? How do I go about creating this client for life mentality? What Art of Homeownership has done is it's distilled it into a consumable system that can be articulated. And it's exactly what your referral partners need as well. They actually need it more than you do. Does that answer your question, Val, or did I just go on a massive soapbox?
Danny, that was so much value. So much value. Yeah, that was great. And actually you weren't here for it, but the realtor that Ryan was presenting to in that kind of playback video, he was saying that they don't have the systems. Like that's what they're looking for. There's no system out there to automate this. So that's what impressed him so much about Art of Homeownership. So, what we were talking about in the beginning was on LinkedIn, putting out content that solves for the problems that these people are having. So when talking about realtors, that's their number one problem is they don't have the systematized way to stay in contact with their past clients. So putting out any sort of content that's saying, I see this, I empathize with you, and this is what I have to resolve for it, will build a connection. So Danny, we did get a question here, and I think I have a good answer for this, but I would love you to challenge me on it. So Dave had asked if you would recommend doing a presentation for a large group of local realtors at once, or would it look like I'm just trying to work with anyone and everyone as opposed to handpicking the best and making it seem more exclusive? So I had actually heard from a mortgage professional. I was just at an event last month, and she was talking about how she built up her network of realtor partners. So when she was first starting out, what she would do is take these newer local real estate professionals and she would hold classes for them. So she would bring in some sort of professional that would solve for any problem that these newer realtor partners are having. And she would teach them and help them build their business along the way. And now her realtor partner network is the top of, the best of Maine. She's located in Maine. So, I mean, she has this network of huge realtor partners because she helped them get there. So if you're looking at taking the ones who might be just starting out or, aren't at the top yet, I would say a group of realtor partners, that sort of presentation where you're not only just pitching yourself to them, but helping them in some sort of way progress in their professional journey. I think that is very appropriate. Would you say so, Danny?
Val, I completely agree. And Dave, it is a great question, because embedded in the question is, a couple of ideas or concepts to kind of take away. So Val, you definitely hit it on the head around the value of presenting to a large group. Dave, I would highly recommend getting in front of as many people as possible. And part of this question, or to kind of dissect it down, there's the presentation itself, and there's the solicitation, or the actual act of working with that realtor down the road. And those are not necessarily connected, right? One can lead to the other, but it doesn't make it mandatory that you get into a relationship with that person. So my recommendation is have the presentations with the sole intent of education and value adding. The energy that you're bringing to that meeting will be seen and known. No one likes to go somewhere just to be sold, right? If you can truly add value, and maybe you actually know ahead of time, I'm never going to work with any of these agents. Even if they referred me a deal, I wouldn't take it. I'm oversubscribed right now, or it's not in the market that I'm in. But I just love teaching about the reasons why a VA offer is as good as a conventional 20% down offer, and I just want people to know about that so badly. I'm going to present to as many people, and I want them to see my truth around whatever the topic is. Meeting people, having them see you, learn from you, being known as an educator, that's going to pay dividends long term. But the embedded strategy is to have your business be exclusive. I think that is absolutely something that you should have intention around. And the framing, and I heard this from an author named Ryan Holiday. He wrote a couple of books. One is The Obstacle's the Way, Ego is the Enemy. And I saw him as a keynote at a conference that I went to. And this really resonated with me. And it was this concept called plate discipline, which is a concept in baseball. So the way he was describing it is, in the minor leagues, AAA ball, you have to swing at every pitch, right? You have to, you just have to hit bombs, right? You got to get up on the radar. That's how you're going to get seen. That's how you're going to get called up into the majors. But as soon as you get into the major leagues, the thing that kills most minor league players is they play the major league game the same way they play the minor league game, and they swing at every pitch. And that's exactly the wrong way to operate once you're in the major leagues. You need to be careful and pick your pitches. The pitching's better. It's more, there's more at stake. So what I would offer as it relates to this concept to kind of tie plate discipline up to this idea is, swing at every pitch when you're in the beginning of your career. Anybody that's on this call is likely not at the very, very start of their mortgage practice or their real estate practice. You're kind of at least mid-level, or mid-career, not mid-level. You're probably in a moment in time where you need to start thinking about plate discipline. And that means thinking about if the partner is energetically aligned with you, right? Are they an energy vampire? Are they killing your ability to have an impact and add value to others beyond them? Are they disproportionately sucking your time away? And one of the things to do here is just know your numbers, right? When I had an active mortgage practice, I was fanatical about numbers. I knew where all my leads were coming from, both, by source, realtor, financial planner, CPA, builder, et cetera, but also by individual. And then I would measure my conversion ratio by individual. And there were, once we kind of drilled into that, it became really eye-opening. Well, geez, I get, 30 leads a month from this one realtor, and they convert one a month, 1 out of 30. I get another 5 leads from this realtor, they converted 4 out of 5. Like what's the difference here? And kind of drilling into that and saying, well, wait a second, my business needs to be exclusive. You know, I need to be in demand, not on demand. And that is going to require me to have some plate discipline. And so picking people that are aligned with you from a values perspective, aligned with you in a way of working, right there. If you're organized, try to find somebody that's similarly organized. If you're a go-getter, you like networking, find people like that. If you like, you know, the puzzle building process of doing loans and you're very technical, try to find partners that really speak to that desire, that kind of give you the opportunity to use your superpower more often. And so long-winded answer to your question, Dave, but you can actually do both things, and you should do both things.
Now, would you say, Danny, because I want to make sure we just like answer this in whole, would you say for, let's say I'm a mortgage professional and I want to go after the top real estate professional in my market. Now, it's unlikely that that person's going to be coming to a group webinar where I'm presenting. So how would you go about getting in contact? That would be like more of a one-on-one relationship, right?
Or if they are the top realtor in the market, they likely have a team. And my experience with top realtors, my practice was in San Diego, California. I still live in San Diego. You know, I would create influence through the team, find out who, oftentimes, especially when it comes to buyers, the team lead is not the decision maker. And getting to that decision maker, I found sometimes it was the transaction coordinator determined who the lender got to be, because they were the most significant stakeholder, because it was their ability to create a delightful client experience was the one that mattered most to that team leader. Sometimes it was the buyer's agent, and sometimes it had to be the team lead, but the path to them was to get through all the gatekeepers, right? All the people that said, hey, you got to talk to Danny, right? Like he just did this thing, or he's, you know, obviously if you have a transaction going with one of those opportunities in your marketplace, there's nothing like a captive audience to show people what you do versus tell them what you do.
Yeah, that's a great answer. And I think too, I know we only have a few minutes left, but also attracting these people rather than going after them, like just like Danny said, that's going to be so valuable. So even leveraging your current realtor partners and create content with them, do interviews so that they're sharing those interviews and that content on their social media, and people will see, like have them tag you, share the content, tag them. So you're getting in front of as many realtor and mortgage professionals as possible, because that just makes you, it almost sets you as like celebrity status, and it makes you seem more exclusive. So people will be seeking to work with you rather than you having to go after them.
That's a really great point, Val. And it's cliche, but people will work with those that they know, like, and trust. Yeah. And one of the powers of social media and influence marketing and, you know, this kind of buddy system marketing is that people will believe they know you and they will trust you as a result, even if they've never met you. If others that they trust have transferred trust to you, like your trusted partners endorsing you, and then you sharing those endorsements, or if you're even just sharing your own truth that aligns with theirs, and they say, well, wow, that person believes what I believe. You know, I see myself in them, and therefore to the extent they trust themselves, they want to trust you. They want to be part of what you're doing. And that's how tribes are created, right? And that if you're able to build a business around shared values and around a shared mission of contribution, I promise you it will have a moat that no innovation, no app, no, disintermediating solution is going to be able to break through or swim through.
Yeah, I love that. Well said. Well, that is a good one to wrap up on. We are pretty much out of time. So thank you all for jumping on. Hold on one second. Corey, I will look into that and follow up. Danny, would you happen to know the answer to that? Corey said Ryan mentioned that the home concierge report can be transferred to a new buyer. How is that done? Is that a quick answer?
I don't know that.
Okay.
One of the things that as we spend more time together, team, you'll learn about me is that I'm not deep on the details, unfortunately. Yeah. But Laura, the concierge, your art of homeownership concierge, should absolutely be able to help you out with that.
Yeah, we'll look into that and get back to you, Corey. So thanks for the question. But thank you all for jumping on. Danny, thank you so much for adding value. This was awesome.
Cheers. Happy to do it.
Yep. Have a great week, guys. Thanks.